Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to day 3 of Go Virtual Career Pathways Conference. And thank you for joining us for this session, CTE Online, an overview of offerings. Today we have Amy Steele, CTE Online Project Coordinator, and Melissa Dolan, Web Resource Support Specialist, who are going to talk to you guys about on CTE online services. So without any further ado, Amy, Melissa, take it away.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to start this presentation, if you don't mind, on Zoom using your annotation feature. If you hover at the top of your page for more and go to annotate if you've never used it before, and then you can either use the drawing feature or you can use the stamps, and tell me if you have none, some, or a lot of experience with exploring CTE online, with finding and using CTE online resources, and with creating curriculum using CTE online. And I'll give you just a moment, if you don't mind, again, using that annotation feature. Okay. None. Okay, that's good. You'll learn something. Okay, so it looks like we have one none, and the whole point of this conversation or this presentation is to hopefully move everybody over maybe one spot. So I see again that somebody has no experience. So hopefully by the end you'll feel that you have some experience with our platform and you are able to use that. I'm going to clear the drawings right now and we will move on. Just one moment. Okay, so today's presentation is called CTE Online, and we consider CTE Online California's one-stop shop for CTE teachers. CTE Online is grant funded, and it is a collaboration between Butte County Office of Education and the California Department of Education. We manage the site here at Butte County Office of Education. The bread and butter, what most people come to CTE Online for, are the completely free lessons. So that's what we'll spend a lot of time on today, but we will also go over the other features of the site. How to participate. So many of us know what it feels like to be online over the last 2 years, however long that's been. So I would love it if you do participate. If you have a question, we have a couple people monitoring the chats for me. If you'd like to use emojis, use your reactions, your thumbs up, thumbs down if you would like, raise your hand. Participation would be great. It helps me know where you're at, if I need to cover something a little more in depth, and what you're finding most useful. So today's agenda, we're going to go over a little bit more about what CTE Online is. We're going to go over the home page and the profile page. If you don't have an account, I will show you the profile page and how to personalize it to get the most out of your CTE Online experience. Again, I mentioned that curriculum is the bread and butter of our site, what most CTE teachers come to us for the most. So we'll spend a lot of time on how to navigate the tools for curriculum. We will go over the navigation menu, and then we will do a survey at the end. Again, throughout, if you have any questions, please speak up or put them in the chat, and I'll make sure I try to get those answered. So CTE Online is free curriculum. I mentioned earlier, it's in conjunction with the California Department of Education, and we offer over 4,000 lesson plans that span all 15 industry sectors. The great thing about this is that these lesson plans, and I feel a bit like a salesperson saying this, but they are free all the time, no matter how many you access. So it's not free for a short time or free for a trial. You can always log on with your account and utilize any of those lessons that you would like. We offer over 130 sample course outlines. over 300 project-based learning projects. And at this point, we have over 140,000 registered users. CTE Online the curriculum is written by California teachers for California teachers, but we have users all over the United States and frankly, internationally as well. And another interesting little piece of trivia about CTE Online is that we have someone new sign up every 12 minutes for our site. That's pretty good for an education site. So when you first log on, you do need an account, you do need a password, and it's going to take you to your home page. Your home page will provide an overview of any upcoming events. This screenshot was taken a while ago, so it would be a little bit different now, but you'll notice up at the top, news and events. At the time that the screenshot was taken, we were offering applications for our Writing Curriculum Institute. I'll talk about that at the end of the presentation. There's also featured information at the bottom, lesson plans that might be relevant to what you fill in on your profile. If you notice, we worked hard with the California Department of Education when classrooms shut down and everybody moved to distance learning to add some CTE distance learning resources to the site. You'll also see my communities, what communities on the site that you choose to join. We'll go over communities a little bit later. Any online users that are on at the same time as you. We really encourage you when you get to that profile building page to add a picture. It's a community platform, so it's nice to see who you're looking at, who is on there in your sectors at the same time that you are. And the other thing you'll find on your homepage after you've had time to establish your account is any curriculum that you add. So that's your homepage. And then we're going to talk about your profile, and I will take you to my live training profile in just a moment to show you exactly. But on this profile, there is some information that's populated as you register for an account, and the rest you add. If you've had an account previously, the site was updated about 1.5 years ago, and we now ask a few additional questions, one of them being, what state are you from? I mentioned that we are from California and for California, but we do have users all over the United States. And we have the ability now to have an email digest where maybe we have information just about CTIG, which only applies to California. So if we know you're a California user, if we send out that information, we can filter that down to just people that it applies to. You can also change your profile, change your preferences, update your password, and send a message. So I'm going to get us to a new screen. I'm going to show you my training screen, and I'll point some of those things out on my screen. Okay, can somebody give me a thumbs up? Ernesto, are you seeing my new screen that says welcome, Ellie?
It's there, I see it.
Okay, just making sure. Sometimes I like to make sure when I'm splitting screens. So this is my training page. This is my best friend Ellie here, and this is her account. So as we talked about, you'll see her news and events. The Go Virtual Careers Pathway Conference is right up there at the top. Underneath it, we'll see Educating for Careers in February, late February, early March. Ellie belongs to all 15 industry sectors. And these are the people who are on the same time that she is. And then as we talked about, here are those CTE distance learning resources. But what I really want to show you is if we want to update or manage a profile. So we're going to go to the top right-hand corner. We see Ellie's profile picture. We'll go to Profile. And then right here, Profile Manage. And we can edit what Ellie has to say. So we see first name, last name. She doesn't have a title except for being my friend. She is in California. This is that important piece of information when we send out updates and information to people. She's a member of Butte County ROP, and then a short biography. To add that profile picture, I said it's always nice in a community platform. On the right-hand side, you can see profile image. We also asked for a little bit more information. There's a contact tab, your email, your phone number, and then if you have any social media that you use in your classroom or your school, you can add that as well. The next tab, we ask that you add the sector that you work in. Ellie's chosen all of them, but you can also pare that down and get more specific. So Ellie works in the agriculture and natural resources sector. She can also choose the exact pathway that she teaches in. Many people not only teach in CTE, but they teach other subjects as well. Oh, there's Ellie in the background, my apologies. So the subjects that you might choose as well. So she chose English language, arts, and science. Demographics, what is your professional role? Where do you work? And what ages do you support? And then the last tab, and this one's a really important one because we all know we're inundated with so many emails. So this is a way to regulate what you receive from us. You can say how often you would like to receive your CTE online correspondence. We'll talk about our sector ambassadors and information that they send out that's relevant to each of your sectors. This is where you can tell us how often you want that information. So we're going to save that. And then Ellie's profile is complete. I'm going to go back again to the training page. Now, this is the fun stuff. This is the really good stuff in CTE Online. This is where we go to search for curriculum across all 15 sectors. So you can view featured curriculum. You can access standards. You can browse curriculum. It even has a great template for creating your own curriculum. You can do all of those things right here. So browsing curriculum by specific industry. There's a search right here that we'll go over on Ellie's page. Resources again. And then this creating new curriculum tab, which is a fantastic way to put what you have already created on the site. I'm going to go back again to Ellie's page so that I can show you exactly how to search for curriculum. So we're going to go to the curriculum tab at the top. And then we see browse curriculum by industry, or excuse me, by sector, search. And so let's first go to agriculture and natural resources. And then we're going to search. And we have a keyword, so we're going to put in sutures. And then we're going to filter down because there will probably be a lot of options. We're going to go to lesson plans. We're going to go to agriculture.
I think we kind of lost some sound, Amy.
Oh, can you not hear me?
It's very low for me, but is it for anybody else?
Yeah, it kind of goes in and out.
Okay, this happened interestingly on Zoom last time I did a presentation as well. As soon as I switch screens, nobody can hear me. So am I back again?
You are
You're
back.
back now, yes.
Okay. And then as you see with my stuff, you don't find anything. But if you go to shared with public and then industries, and then of course, because I'm making a presentation, I'm not finding anything. So shared with public again. I apologize. I'm going to try this one more time because that is just not doing what I need it to. So let's go to search, sutures. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. I do not know what I hit. And then we're going to go to curriculum. Lesson plans, we'll filter it down more. A great hint is instead of going to my stuff, go to shared with public. industry, agriculture, and natural resources. And then see, we have set 575 results. But if we go down a little bit, this is the lesson plan that I was looking for. Ready, set, suture. So we're going to click on that. This is a ready-made lesson plan that you can take into your classroom. When we have our curriculum writers come in and write curriculum, they write 4 lesson plans that contribute to an entire project. So you'll see 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all right here. This is lesson 4 of 4. You could go to just this specific lesson, and it's going to give you everything you need to plug and play in your classroom. All of the activities have links. So, ouch, infection, there's a link. Is it normal? There's a link. It gives you the materials that you need. All of the activities. I'm not going to click on this picture of an infected stitches. I don't want to see it. But then over on the left, it has information. So this lesson takes about 90 minutes. It's in the animal science pathway. It does have distance learning information and grade levels. If we go down a little bit further, it connects it to the CTE Ag standards that it connects to. And below that is the curriculum tab. It will not let me scroll down, but if you did, it would again give you access to all 4 of the lessons in this project. Now, again, I told you you can use this one lesson any way that you choose. You could choose a couple of them, or you could teach the entire project. If you come to the right, you can share this lesson plan. You can download the lesson plan. You could add this to a collection. A collection is what we think of at CTE Online as a file cabinet, maybe something that you think that you could use at some point, but you want to come back later. That will save it for you. And then there's this, which is really cool. You can copy the lesson plan, and then you can edit it as you see fit for your classroom. So you can take what Elizabeth Amon has done and you can make it your own so that it fits what you need. So that's how to search. And I know I went very quickly, so if you have any questions, please ask. That is how to search using the search key. You could also simply be a browser, just somebody who wants to kind of shop around and see what there is. So I click on agricultural business and I get 28 results, and I can scroll through those and look at them at my own pace. The other thing, I really like the ability to, you have a standard that you need to teach in your class, and you've always done it the same, and you just need some fresh ideas. So if you scroll to the bottom of the curriculum page on the left, you can go to California 2013 CTE standards. And then I think we will look at building and construction. And then we're going to pare that down even more. Let's look at, we're going to choose a pathway. So cabinetry and millwork. And then a standard, so we can pare that down even more. And I think for this one, let's look at understanding finishes. You can even take that down to the performance indicator level. But if you look at the bottom, after we've searched for standards, we have a lesson plan, building a better back scratcher, another lesson plan for building new utensils. We have an outline. Our outlines are considered either semester or year-long outlines of a course. Here's another outline on intermediate woodwork, a third outline on advanced, and a project, which would be all 4 of the lessons connected to that building a better back scratcher. So you can look for lessons that deal with specific standards in your sector on that curriculum tab. We've covered a lot of information very quickly, but again, you can search with keywords. You can browse by sector or pathway. And at the bottom of the page, you can look for curriculum using specific standards. The last thing that we will cover on this page, and I talked a little bit about what a cool template this was earlier, is you can click on Create New Curriculum. And if we come to this tab, it allows you to make a lesson, an outline, so again, a semester or a year, a project, which we consider 4 lessons, a pathway, of course, which would be 3 outlines, or you can make collections. The difference between when you build a lesson using CTE Online and when you search is that all of the lessons and all of the curriculum that you look for in this search tab or when you're browsing are publicly viewable. All of those lessons were developed in our Curriculum Writing Institute. They've all been edited and looked at by standards alignment experts, and they have all been published and ready to go. So when you build a lesson, it will not show up publicly like those will, but you certainly have the option to use the template. You can set your lessons, your outlines, or your pathways as private, only you can see them. Maybe you are building a lesson with a colleague, so it can be a shareable link with someone you work with or a group of people that you work with, but it will not be viewed by the public. So we're going to click the Start New Curriculum. And it's really quite self-explanatory. It gives you everything that you need. If you would like to add a picture for your lesson, you can upload it here. This lesson is specific lesson information. So you're going to choose your grade level, your industry sector, and any subjects. Standards, we talked about that as well. And then on the right, you have your lesson title, your introduction, and all the activities that you might want to have in that lesson. Again, on the right-hand side, you see the tools that you can save that lesson, or this is really nice too. If you're working on that lesson with a colleague, it gives you the option to make comments back and forth as you're editing and perfecting that lesson. So that's a very quick overview of how to create a lesson plan using the curriculum tab on CTE Online. I'm going to, give just a moment if there are any questions, because I know I did go over that very, very quickly. If there's anything in chat or anything I need to cover before we move on.
No questions right now in the chat, but I think we're a small enough group that if anybody wants to unmute and just ask in person, you can go ahead at this time, but there's no questions so far.
Absolutely. I actually like that better. I just know that I tend to get very excited about this and talk very quickly, and it's a lot of new stuff.
Makes sense, yes.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the slide deck. Okay, so we covered finding curriculum. Again, the 3 ways that you can do that: through keywords, through sector, or through standards. The next tab we're going to visit is the leadership tab. This tab talks about funding resources. CTIG is on there. K through 12 strong workforce is on there. Those are frequently updated and they're on the leadership tab to find out about. CTE organizations, ACTE, KROP is on there. So any CTE organizations that you might need information about or that you belong to might have links under that CTE organizations. Next, we come to our student leadership groups, our CTSOs. I always say that wrong. So all 6 that are recognized by the state of California. So FCCLA, FFA, CalHOSA. If it is one of those 6 student organizations, there is a link to their website on the right-hand side of the leadership page. And the last thing that this leadership page offers are professional development, CTE Teach, which Many teachers come to CTE Online when they are doing their induction through CTE Teach. And then we also have a tab for Leadership Development Institute, or LDI. That is an organization for those of us who are wanting to get into the administrative side of CTE education. That link is found on the Leadership tab at the top of the page. Training and development, moving right along. We have CTE Online Training Institutes. We talked a bit at the last screen about CTE Teach resources, and again, LDI. So training and development tab, right in the middle of that CTE Online page. And then we talk about CTE Online Curriculum Writing Institutes. Those are the applications that I talked about earlier when all of those lesson plans that are available to you are developed in our Curriculum Writing Institutes. We usually offer 2 to 3 of those a year. This year, there's only 1. Some of the funding for that has been redirected, but it's for another really exciting project that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Those applications are due in the summer, and we send out an email late spring, early summer to all of our California teachers if they would like to participate in that. And we'll talk about the details and the stipend and all of the things that are part of that Curriculum Writing Institute in just a few minutes. The next tab under the trainings and institutes says CTE Online Trainings. That is much like what you are getting today with this slide deck and presentation. We offer those to different LEAs, district offices. We do several throughout the year. And that is where those institutions can go to request a training. CTE Teach. On the right-hand side, again, I mentioned so many people become familiar with CTE Teach when they are doing their induction or getting their credentials cleared. But CTE Teach has a lot of other information to offer as well, and it can be reached on this page. Leadership Development Institute, I mentioned that on the last page as well. It is linked to this. And again, it is an opportunity for people to apply for the Institute when they are interested in getting into the administrative side of CTE education. The last thing on the training and development page is this box on the left, and it's conferences and webinars. The first one, and really the only one we'll spend any time talking about today, is the ACT webinar series that CTE did all last year, and it's called In a Time of Uncertainty. And all those webinars are found right there on that resource under conferences and webinars. And again, that was through the California Department of Education. Moving right along to communities. And communities is the area after curriculum, probably the second most frequented place. And as I mentioned, we consider CTE Online communities of practice where people can come together and share their expertise and their knowledge and maybe ask questions. So that's what happens under the communities page. Each sector has a sector ambassador, a leading teacher in that area that has been doing it for a long time, and they post updates twice a month. I'll show you an example of that in just a moment. There's also a fairly new administration and leadership group. And then CTE Teach Mentors has a link on here as well. I'm going to share Ellie's screen, so I'm going to switch really quickly. Okay, so if we go to Ellie's communities, you can see all 15, sorry if I'm making you dizzy, on the right-hand side. If you click on, we always seem to go to agriculture, it's the first one alphabetically. You click on that, and Ellie's already belongs to the group, but you can leave. Or now we need to go back and have her rejoin. Now you can join the group. So once you're in the group, if you scroll down, you can see that there's this area for communication. And Elizabeth Amon is the sector ambassador for Ag this year. And at least twice a month, she puts a resource, be it a lesson plan, maybe an Ag specific conference, might be something about FFA, any resource that would be relevant to an agriculture teacher might show up right here. So lesson plans on floral arrangements, that was what she last put. But the great thing about these communities is that it's not only Elizabeth or the sector ambassador that can post under these communications. If you see on the left, the agriculture sector has over 8,000 members. If you think about you're in your classroom one day and you're an agriculture teacher and you are really having an issue with something and you're not sure of the answer, you've brainstormed, you've talked to your colleagues on site, you just don't know what to do. You can go to this communication tab, you can write a message, and there are 8,089 people in that sector who might have an answer for you, who might be able to help you solve your problem or maybe direct you to a link for a great lesson that you haven't been able to find. I know that this is really important in communities like ours. We're in far Northern California, and some towns, some districts have one teacher in a sector. So being able to use these communities to reach out and build communities of practice where you can play upon the knowledge of your other CTE instructors has been really, really important. The bottom of this page again has shared resources, shared curriculum. Another interesting thing to point out about communities is that you do not just have to join the community to which you teach in. An example of this might be agriculture and natural resources has a welding component. Manufacturing also has a welding component. If you were an agriculture teacher teaching welding classes, you might join the manufacturing sector as well, and you might be getting double the information that is relevant to you. So you can join as many communities as you want. This is where I also said that you might want to choose how often you get correspondence, because remember, these sector ambassadors post at least twice a month, and other members of the communities can post there as well. Here's the CTE administration and leadership we talked about. Again, over and over throughout the site, the CTE distance learning resources pop up, and then CTE Teach finds itself here again. Any questions about communities? Again, I know I get so excited about this stuff. I think it's so cool, so I talk really quickly. But we will go back to the slide deck.
Amy, we do have a question here. It says,
Okay.
how do you find groups to join?
Okay, so I just switched screens, but I am going to go back again to Ellie's page.
And I think Melissa did answer, but if you can show on the screen. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's just go. Anytime you want to get back to your home page, you can just hit this CTE online at the top left-hand side of the screen. But we're going to go to communities, and all you do, all 15 of them are right here. And we've been doing a lot of ads. So let's go to hospitality and tourism. Just click on that icon. Scroll down. And as I said, Ellie already belongs to this group, but right here where it says leave group, if you do not belong to the group, it says join. All you do is click on that join group tab and you are a member of hospitality, tourism, and recreation. So it's really as simple as going to the icon for that sector and choosing it. Does that answer that question?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, super simple. Just click on the icon and join. And again, a lot of sectors intersect with different lessons. So feel free to join any or as many as you would like. Oh, and I forgot to do the little highlight thing. Okay, right for us. I've mentioned this several times, but this is where we get all those amazing high quality lessons that you see and are free throughout the site. We have a 2-day curriculum writing institute. Unfortunately, the applications for this year have already closed. It's coming up in January. But this is where we have 30 teachers from across 15 industry sectors come together. Unfortunately, hopefully it'll get back to in person eventually. It is virtual again this year. They submit a plan and then they write 4 lessons, which equal 1 project. They work with a sector lead that helps edit their lessons to begin. After the sector lead finds those lessons to be where they need to be, they're sent on to the curriculum alignment and curriculum specialists. If there are any edits that need to be made, those lessons are sent back to the teacher and we ask that those be made. After they are okayed on all 3 fronts, with the lead, with the curriculum or standards alignment and the curriculum specialists, they are approved. And then that teacher earns a $2,000 stipend, a nice little summer vacation bonus. It is a process, it is work. You can't just plug in a lesson that you already have and call it good. We do have to edit them and get them approved, but it's about a 6-week process. So it's a nice, again, little payday at the end, and it helps keep all of those great lessons available for teachers. Admittedly, we have a hard time getting people to join us in transportation, manufacturing, and energy. So if those are any sectors that you have expertise in or know anybody who might be willing to join us, we're always looking for people in those 3 sectors. But again, that application process is done for the year. We will, at the end of this year, beginning of the summer, send out information about how to apply for next year. We do not publish the new lessons until the summer. What we have found with CTE Online is that at the beginning of the summer, our usership goes way down. People are needing their break from teaching so hard all year long. Toward the end of the school year, it picks up. As winter break approaches, it wanes a little bit. And then January, when people are getting back into the swing of that second semester, it picks up and then drops again at the end of the year. So we hold on to all of those lessons, those 30 projects that we have collected at the end of the Institute. And during the summer, when usership is low, when we will not be interrupting teachers, we publish all of those so that they are ready to go the following year. As it says at the bottom, there's a link right here, but that application and information is on the training and development page. We talked about that. It's on the top left-hand corner, along with the request for requesting a training. So that's our plug for you to come bring your expertise to us and help us build that lesson plan cachet that we have on this site. California Educators Together. This is another CDE project, and it is part of the reason that I talked about we're only having 1 Writer Institute this year, but this is super exciting as well. CTE Online is a great place for resources and curriculum and information for CTE teachers. California Educators Together is going to be that for math teachers and social science teachers and English teachers. I was an English teacher for 8 years. I wish when I started, I had something like this to go to for lesson plan help and resource help. So that is what California Educators Together is going to be. It is already in existence. It is similar to CTE Online. It uses the same platform and the same coding. So if you can get around CTE Online, you can get around California Educators Together as well. The one thing we fully understand is that California Educators Together is in the development phase. CTE Online has been through several renovations over 20 years to get it to the highly effective, user-friendly platform that it is. So California Educators Together is building resources right now, and it will take a little bit of time, but it will be right there where CTE Online is as well. So again, that is why we're only having one institute this year, but it's going to be a great benefit for California educators outside of CTE, just like CTE Online is for all of our CTE teachers. And finally, we have Melissa was actually with us today. We have a small but mighty, amazing technical team. Do not struggle if you're online and you're on CTE Online and come across an issue. You can always email at webmaster@cteonline.org, and we have Melissa and Frank there to help you. Or during regular business hours, you can call 530-212-7379. The great thing about that phone number, as long as it's business hours, you're not going to have to listen to elevator music or push 1, 2, or 3. If they are in the office, Frank or Melissa will be there to help you answer your questions. So please feel free to contact us. So our final screen is a training survey, but I believe Ernesto said that there's a survey for the conference itself. So we're going to ask you to do that instead. I know that I do, again, talk very quickly, and I probably got through this faster than I anticipated. I get so excited, but I think we have a few minutes, correct, Ernesto?
We do, yeah. We do have about 7 minutes left in our session. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to jump in and ask away.
Absolutely. And again, and they have the link to your survey, correct?
Yes, I just added that link there to the survey. So you guys, if you guys can click on that, you'll be able to, it'll take you straight there, yeah.
Perfect. So thank you so much. I hope that if you are on here listening, you take some time. I hope that in that first slide where we annotated that we didn't know anything about CTE Online, maybe we've moved to that some category. That was my goal for today. It is a lot of information.
There is a question here that just came in, Amy.
Okay.
For the Leadership Institute, is that for specific regions, all of California? If we joined that in the future, should we have a potential future job in place with the CTE department, or do you partner with region departments for job shadowing experiences, et cetera?
That is a lot of questions.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm going to tell you the LDI link on there gives you a lot more, but it is through, I think, Redlands and maybe Palm Springs. I don't quote me on that. I know it says on there it's a collaboration, but anybody who is in the administration side can apply to that institute for the year. I know that we're in Butte County, so far northern, and one of our administrators applied and was accepted this year and is participating this year. So it's for all of California. I know right now, it used to be in person. I know right now, again, our administrator who is participating is doing all of that virtually, and you do apply for that experience.
Great. I don't see any other questions.
Okay, well, I'll hang out for just a minute or two just in case. And again, if you think of anything later or you need help, hopefully you know that you can log on I did forget to mention, if you are on the site, I gave you Kelly and Frank's information, but any page on CTE Online, I'll quickly reshare Ellie's page here.
Oh, and you
Oh,
can.
I can't, but that's all right.
Oh, okay.
In-
I
if
can
you-
stop sharing if you want, and you can.
No,
share.
it's okay.
Okay.
Any page you go to on the CTE Online platform, if you scroll to the very bottom on the right-hand side, it again gives you that help information. So it gives you that webmaster address as well as that phone number for us at the Butte County office.